Welcome to Here Come the Details, a podcast show. This week, your host Josh FADEM discusses the topic of subterfuge with guests John Armour, aka Johnny Polygon. Johnny is a Grammy-nominated artist, writer, and producer known for a genre-bending take on music. Please be advised that this week's episode does contain material meant for mature audiences. Please adjust and enjoy.
Jim Josh over here.
Who's Jim Josh? What's that?
Like you're in
Oh,
the
Jim,
gym.
I'm hot. I'm
Yeah,
ready to go.
I'm ready to
Let's
go.
Spot me. I'm ready to go.
I've been going.
But we've been sitting here for a few minutes getting ready to go.
Don't
and
tell them.
I just figured I'd tell someone just to establish, because someone's coming in right now and they're like, I want to know what's going on.
Right.
Rather than
they
being
look like they're going.
Yeah, they look like they're going, and because it's this exact thing we talked about, which was that I had the concern, you had the concern too. We shared the concern that we had such a good riff and a good chemistry going, and that we were gonna press record, starting now, and then we're gonna be like,
Well, let's try this.
yeah.
Stop recording.
Oh, stop! Don't really stop it. Pretend.
Don't really stop
Make
it.
us
Stop.
think that that we stopped it.
Right.
Now we can finally relax.
Now we're relaxing.
We got Evan over here. He likes.
Hey, what's going on?
Evan's-
I'm happy. Yeah.
And we got Jack over there.
Ding dong.
Yeah, the interjection panel, talent coordination,
Ding dong might stick for
security studies.
you. Security studies.
Yes.
Check your ID.
Now my espresso got less hot.
Oh wow, that's what happens when you
Don't drink it right
yeah.
away. But then you want to drink it to get the maximum
Sure.
effect.
My espresso is getting hotter inside of my body.
So it's heating you up.
Yeah, and it's actually tasting worse.
So you don't like bitterness.
Do you guys do polls on this podcast? Can we do a poll?
Poll for what?
I don't know whether espressos are disgusting or not.
We can.
Okay. Put a poll up.
Okay. Oh, like call the number now and
Yeah.
put the number up.
Yeah.
Rob, you got a whiskey? What's that?
It's a non-alcoholic whiskey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's tea?
I think is it just ski?
Is it tea?
Is it
Did I say ski?
whisk? Is it just
It's
whisk?
it's ski. It's whisk.
Liar American spirits.
Can you hear me well?
It tastes like tea.
How does that taste? Tastes like tea.
Yeah. Doesn't quite have the burn
Of whiskey.
that I miss.
Yeah.
That's what after getting sober, that's what I miss the most about alcohol.
You
is
like the burn. So you like a little bit of pain.
I like pain.
So why with the bitterness can't you kind of equate, because the bitterness is like kind of generally considered to be an unpleasant taste in the mouth.
There's a difference between unpleasant and painful.
Why? What's the difference?
I think pain is a reminder that I'm alive.
Ooh.
Unpleasantness is a reminder of what I hate about being alive.
Oh. So you're like, you drink the thing, you go, it hurts, I'm alive, and then what happens?
And then I just go on about my business, and I think I have a certain gratitude of no longer being in pain when the pain fades. For instance, like
Hey, Fade, that's my name.
when the pain fadems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I did actually.
You did.
I did mean to
'Cause
interrupt.
you
I was
did.
like, I was trying to say I didn't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to get in on the ground running to try to angle in what our discussion topic is today.
Oh, right.
My guest today,
How do you pronounce it again?
well, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
My guest today is, do you like to go by Johnny Polygon or John Armour?
I like to go by Johnny Polygon when I'm on stage.
Okay, so this counts as on stage, because we're probably not going to get real. We're in persona mode, I think.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think that we're in probe deep to the depths of the soul of the artist mode.
Well, see, that's the trick. Is if you have a persona, can you also probe deep?
Right, and is your persona answering the questions, or is your persona that you are inviting to be probed deeply?
What if my persona gives me the bravery to be probed?
Right. Now, so if we went by, and do you mind that I said your name? That isn't your
It's too late now.
Well, we can bleep it.
No. Yeah,
I can bleep- we're gonna
bleep it. Beatrix.
I do want to say you got a great stage name, but you also got a great regular name.
A lot of people have said that, and I didn't really appreciate it until around my 30s. My last name Armour.
Yeah. Because, what does Armour make you think of? It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's brave. It's
Protected
Yeah.
by a persona. A persona is protected. But persona is not our word to discuss today. The word that we're discussing today
Right.
is subterfuge.
Right.
We're discussing subterfuge.
Now, when we get that word, can we get a dictionary definition?
Well, what do you think it means? I think I know what it means, but I didn't look it up and see what I.
Well, when I hear the word sub, I think of submarine. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of something under the surface.
You're thinking of U-571 or a Tom Clancy novel or something like that?
Or like a sandwich.
Or like maybe like, Hunt for Red October or a U-boat or something.
I've never seen Hunt for Red October.
Me neither. I actually think submarine movies are boring.
Yeah.
All of them. Every time I try.
Except for
Crimson Tide.
Under Siege.
Under Siege.
Das
Under
Boot.
Siege is a
Right.
which one did you say?
Das Boot.
Das Boot. See, I can't get through any of the damn things.
Is it because
I
it's
think
so
Under
contained?
Siege isn't a submarine movie. It's a cruise ship. Doesn't.
Did you guys already mention Hunt for Red October?
We're talking about how I think submarine movies are boring.
Oh, you guys didn't see it?
Well, every time I start. Oh, maybe that's the
It's a
weakest.
classic.
How many Mission Impossible?
Every time I start a submarine movie, a classic, like I know, like Crimson Tide or Hunt for Red October, I'm like, okay, this time I'm going to love it, and I
Right.
fall asleep.
Boom.
What's
Boom.
that? What did you say?
Verified range to target. One ping only, Vasily.
Is that your Connery? It's pretty good.
That's Sean Connery, pretty good.
They're pretty
It's
good.
from the movie. That's dialogue from the movie.
Now, you were about to get real, but I wanted to ask some questions about if you
All
had
right.
any impressions.
Ooh, just off top?
Well, he did Sean Connery.
Basic.
Did you do any impressions?
No. In fact, I'm known for how bad my impressions are, and I do impressions in front of my girlfriend just to challenge her attraction to me.
See if
Yeah,
you,
and
because you
she's-
like it's nice to have a challenge. To be like,
Yeah, it's nice
you
to
love me now?
push her away.
You love me now? You love me now?
Do you want to do it?
How
do
about
you
now?
still want to do it? We haven't done it in months.
So subterfuge, forgive me. I feel like we got a great
Right.
spark going, and that
That's okay. We're off the rails,
makes
man.
my brain just go.
That's probably one of my favorite things about you is you're like an uncaged mental monkey. Yeah, yeah.
It makes it. It feels like some people you want to be like, okay, I guess I better button it up, and some people are like, hey, we're free. We know each other.
Yeah.
Do you feel free?
I do feel free.
Okay, good. I want other people to feel free too.
And I've also felt like you're like a secret genius. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like you could do some if we were in trouble, I feel like you could do some weird hacking or puzzle solving.
Oh,
or,
yeah,
something like that.
I was like, where's he going with this? Am I a genius? I was like, I can't actually. Ian was trying to help me with
shit.
some editing. He saw I don't know shit about computers. I'm not your guy.
damn
That's
it.
the thing. I'm an actor. As an actor, I'm an actor. If you didn't know, as an actor, most of the auditions I get are for tech genius nerd version dork who is a genius with the nerd version computer.
So I hit a
and I never
typecasting
booked
nerve.
him. What's that?
I hit a typecasting nerve with you right now.
Well,
Sorry about that.
it doesn't hurt. I think it's because I got my persona.
Sure. Sure.
That might be a
Sure.
look. My headshot might
Sure.
scream that. But in real life, I'm not going to be your hacker.
Well, I'll be honest. I want to slide you a computer. I want you to type rapidly, and I want you to say something like, "We're in" or something.
Okay, hold on. Let's just pretend this is a.
Or you're looking at the system and you're like, "Wait a minute,
I need more time.
I know this."
Yeah,
I
these
need
are the
more
rules out of
time.
the book. I need more time. I think I need to grind a little more. I need more time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Coming up.
It's too much subterfuge in this.
Yeah, too much subterfuge. I got to create some
You
subterfuge.
tricky
I need
motherfucker.
to obfuscate this code.
Stall, enhance,
Gotcha.
subterfuge, obfuscate,
Persona.
persona.
Password. Persona.
So we're a couple of artists, and we have personas.
Yes.
Now, if you have a persona, would you describe your persona?
I've never actually spoken it out loud.
Don't
But-
do it then, unless you want to. I
Well,
don't know.
If I speak it out loud, maybe I'll kill it or something.
You think, or will you grow it and
Or will
enhance
it
it?
strengthen? Maybe it'll reach its final form.
Maybe you have to destroy and rebuild. Maybe that's what it's all about.
Deep.
Or are we breaking the? I mean,
Deep.
look at that right there. See that? There's a camera right there.
Right.
Look right into it. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Whoa.
We just broke. Look at that. We just broke.
What's that? The fifth wall?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, how many? We got 3 cameras.
It's one of those numbers.
Okay, we're in two. Now we're cutting to the 2-camera mode. Now we're in my angle. Now we're in your angle.
Can you command the cameras like
I'm pretending that I can, because in post-production you edit.
You're obligating them in post?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Just like me, transforming into an angel and flying away into the sky and breathing fire. They have to create.
Ooh, look
that.
at this. Is this magic effect? Is this Ian? Is this looking cool with this?
We'll do what we
lighting
can,
effect?
John.
Is that something you put on there, Rob? Let's create some subterfuge. Look at this production value we got here.
Nice.
This is what made me think subterfuge, is that we have great production value. We can't breathe.
I asked for no smoke.
The place is on fire, but I can't stop podcasting.
Someone didn't read my writer.
Sorry, just hit my blunt over here.
Where's Johnny? Where's Johnny?
This fake smoke has always smelled like pancakes or maple syrup to me.
Yeah, how does it smell right now?
It's vape juice.
There's not too much of a smell to it.
Pancake vape juice.
Can you get flavored fake smoke?
Isn't that what vape
So I didn't
is?
look up what subterfuge
when you
means.
said vape, I'm just thinking like, oh, can I get like a pina colada stage smoke?
I didn't look up what subterfuge means. But I think it
I
means
did.
like smoke and mirrors. I think
Sure.
it means smoke and mirrors, and like sometimes it can be used as it's like deflection,
Sure.
diversion, or if you don't want to, talk about something, you throw some subterfuge in there.
I think that's filibustering.
Oh,
What more?
oh, you hold. So are they connected?
I don't think so.
Oh, so they're different. So I got it wrong.
But
Jack, he
if
said-
I use a yes and,
okay. Well,
yes, that's not what it is.
Okay.
And
And my persona is the guy who gets things wrong. Therefore,
right. So subterfuge. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
I think you are.
From what I looked up, it's to achieve a goal under false pretenses, to lie for the sake of, I don't know, maybe success.
Like I worked on Broadway, and I didn't. And
But-
then now I said, well, he worked on Broadway.
Well, from what I'm guessing is you'd say you're auditioning for Broadway and someone says, have you ever worked for Broadway before? And you say yes, and then you get the role because of your experience that you just lied about.
So that was subterfuge.
Right? Is that correct over there?
That seems right.
Right? Are you Googling subterfuge?
We
No?
got our Oxford Standard English here. Deceit used in order to achieve one's goal.
A seed?
Deceit.
Deceit.
Yeah.
So pretty much on the money.
Awesome.
You're
Nice.
giving specific examples.
Awesome.
Monkey business.
When
Hanky panky. Jiggery pokery.
Rewinding to it, you said monkey business, funny. And I was acting like a monkey earlier. This is
Right.
really coming together like crazy. Like
right.
It's all tiny.
Right. It's like we wrote this out beforehand.
But we didn't. It's
I
just like
know.
kind of naturally happening.
I know.
And,
Improving, foreshadowing.
Before, well, I like the
Callbacking.
way this, Ian, are you capturing how cool this smoke looks? Does it look as good in the camera as it does in my eyes?
Is this a weed podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, we're stoned. We can pretend we're stoned. Ooh,
Hot, but
pass it to you.
sick.
Oh, pass it back, hurry! I can't wait to
Relax.
smell more.
Yeah, sick, man.
Jack, catch this. Oh, nice. Make sure you pass it to Evan too.
Don't
Everyone has
fuck
to
up the
get
rotation.
I like the way you caught it.
Ooh.
Precise.
What about? Oh, damn.
We're a bunch of people who've never smoked weed before, thinking you just throw it to each other.
Oh, well, yeah. Here, catch the roach.
Catch this burning flower.
Catch it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! My
yeah.
dad walked in, and we're all masturbating to.
Oh, my dad.
Oh.
My dad's down with it. I learned it from you.
I learned it from watching you, Dad.
Right.
Where did you learn to masturbate to this magazine?
High times.
You all right? What did I write down?
On that topic of, never mind.
Yeah.
That's
No.
fine. No.
You went too far.
No.
We were talking
whoa.
about people who go, I think you took it too far.
Right.
And we were also talking about.
And I hate that dude. Don't invite that guy. There is no too far.
We don't need to. Yeah, let's just take it as far as it goes. We're so edgy. We're a man's podcast about edginess, unless there's a woman here, and then we're a woman's podcast about edginess.
The feminists.
We're feminines.
Yes.
We're feminine.
I don't know how to properly talk about women when they're not in the room.
Oh, so when they're in the room, you say, I love women, they're great, and I support them.
Right. See, even I feel like I've probably said too much now.
Oh, like you feel like you might have dug yourself a hole, and people say, ooh, Johnny Polygon, you kind of said, ooh, wait, did you hear what Johnny Polygon said
about women?
On the Here Come the Details podcast?
Is that the name of this?
Yeah, did I not tell you that?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, the details are coming.
Do you have like an intro to the podcast?
Like music-wise?
Like do you like a preamble? Like, hey, this is Josh FADEM, and here come the details.
Usually I try to do something like that, or I start kind of a rant, like, here's what I did today. But I thought we had such a spicy, hot, moving chemistry that I was just like, let's just, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
We were already going.
Yeah, and that's
and we've gone too far now, so.
Oh, you took it too far.
Too far to go back.
Astrology. We were riffing about astrology. Oh yeah. Speaking of, you said we were talking about bad impressions. You're like, that's a terrible Ryan Reynolds impression. And because I was doing a Ryan Reynolds. I was like, hey guys, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Hey guys, I'm so strong. Hey guys, but I'm kind of new.
Hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
And you're like,
I'm sort of like Jim Carrey.
Hey, I'm sort of like, and I thought maybe that's like a Canadian thing, that kind of this sort of thing where I don't know. I don't have a Ryan Reynolds impression, but that was what I pulled out.
Sure.
That was what hey, I'm in the moment.
The thing about Canadians is you rarely know when you've met one.
Yeah, they look just like us.
They look just like us.
Yeah, and they sound just, but there's those three.
Until they say something like a boot.
Yeah, it's when they give those syllable giveaways, you go, whoa, whoa,
oh,
whoa.
you fucking Canadian.
I was just talking some inside USA stuff.
Are there any Canadians in Tulsa? I don't think Tulsa's like Canada friendly.
Now, I know a Canadian, and that Canadian visited Oklahoma.
Oh.
So.
I know a few Canadians here in town.
Out here?
Really?
Visiting?
I'm not going to tell you who they are or where they're at.
You don't want to out them?
I just heard your...
You don't want to out the Canadians?
Canadian views.
My Canadian ignorance?
So they're not clearly Canadian.
Johnny, when you're doing... clearly Canadian. Oh, yeah, there's clearly Canadians here.
That's why we invited Evan.
Yeah. Evan's dropping the...
Pay this man.
Nice one.
Just earned your worth, man.
Hey, when you ever do a rap song...
Canada.
What's that?
In Canada?
You think you could rap in Canada?
In Canada, yes.
Do you ever change a word to rhyme? Like change the pronunciation of a word to rhyme with a word so that,
I try not to do that. I think I did in my earlier years, and I might do that when I'm like joking around freestyling with my friends, or back when I had friends.
Yeah.
Like in high school or something like that. But
hey, we knew each other in high school.
We did. Yeah. We went to the same
Booker T.
Yeah.
Anyway, that one I didn't mean to interrupt. It just blurted out. I wanted to hear where you're going with that.
That's okay. But do I mispronounce words in order to rhyme?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say no.
Now, is it looked down upon?
In my book, it is. I don't know too many rappers who do that. And if they do, they'll say, "Oops, I meant."
Oh, right. It within the lyrics, in a clever way.
Yeah, like in a purposeful way.
Or I guess it's probably, I would guess, case by case.
Right.
Word by word.
Right.
Sometimes it seems like it could be clever to, like, everyone knows that word doesn't rhyme with the previous word that you rhymed it with, but because you were so self-aware about the usage of the mispronunciation, it therefore becomes clever.
One man's clever is another one's corny.
Hackery? Yeah. Corny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hackery's good.
Hackery.
Yeah, hackery's a good word.
In the comedy business, we use the word hackery. I mean, maybe we don't. Evan, do we use the word hackery?
No, we don't.
We don't. Okay. My damn espresso ADHD is so bad, I can't...
Them espressos, no joke. See, I don't think espressos work on me because of all the cocaine I've done in my life.
So espressos, you think, so it just feels like you drank water?
It just feels like I drank a pencil.
Oh, yes. Now, with a little bit of lead.
Bitter hot water.
Yes.
Now, Rob...
Or like a flat beer.
We got these short glasses for the water.
Hot beer.
Are you a water drinker? Do you like water?
I do like water. I do.
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's great.
What is...
Don't care for water.
Okay, stop me if this is too personal, but what is your favorite color?
I don't have a favorite anything. I just have things that I like a lot.
It might change.
You know what I mean?
Things change.
Yeah, things change. Like I don't have a favorite food, a favorite color. But it's specifically a favorite color. I don't have one.
Because who's to say you're gonna want to be defined forever?
I think right
favorite
now
sounds forever. I mean, like right now, this week, this day, this moment.
Favorite color, black girl.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of different shades of black.
That's my favorite part about it.
Okay. Yeah.
I do know how to talk about women when they're not here.
There we go.
That. My favorite color is
here's
black
the thing,
woman.
I guarantee you there's some women listening right now. So they're in the room.
Probably not any black women.
You don't think so?
Well, now that I'm here bigging them up, I think they heard the call. Let's talk about personal experience with subterfuge.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a great. Thanks for steering it for me.
Right? Okay.
You got any personal experiences that you can think of?
Sure, I'm in the music business.
I got an acting one, and then you flag your music one, because I had an acting one. When I was about 21, and this ties all together, I auditioned for a movie called Waiting. I never saw it,
right?
But it starred Ryan Reynolds, and it was this is getting weird.
Right.
And I think the audition, it was one of the first like theatrical, non-commercial auditions I think I ever did, and I had no credits. And you're supposed to go in with a headshot and a resume. This is got to be 2001 or 2 or something like that. And so I made up a resume. He was in this play, this improv show. And I remembered that UHF with Weird Al Yankovic was shot in Tulsa. So I wrote down UHF, kid in audience. And because it shot in Tulsa when I was a kid. I was not in UHF. I wasn't a kid in the audience, but I do remember there was a casting call at the Promenade Mall that said, if you want to be in UHF, come to the mall. And we begged my mom, can we please? I want to be in a Weird Al movie. And she didn't take us to the mall, so we're not in the movie. But there's people that we went to school with that are in that audience, not to name drop too hard. But
I didn't know that.
Dan Collins, he's in it.
No way.
Yeah. You remember Emily Banks?
I do.
She's in it. Anyway, I'm not in it. But I went to the audition, and one of the writers or producer, director or whatever of Waiting was like, are you really in UHF? And I was like, bad at lying. I went, yeah, sort of. You know, like it didn't work, and I didn't get hired to be in Waiting. But that was, I wasn't ready. I should have been more prepared with my backstory to be like, yeah, I was in UHF, man. Me and Weird Al still in touch.
No, I think that it kind of shows you as an honest person.
I get a lot of guilt.
Much unlike me.
You don't feel the guilt?
I feel guilt now that I've been sober for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's part of what sobriety brings, is a conscience and guilt.
Yeah.
But before, no way.
Just trying to survive.
That was like my superpower, just like no guilt.
Yeah.
I'm like, subterfuge. That's what I've been into my whole life. Just like lying to get what you want.
Wow.
I have tons of experience, and that's hard to pin it down to one.
Yeah. Well, you can share. Cue up 4 in your mind and start with the first one that comes up there.
Okay.
It can be a bad one. The best one can be the third one.
There was a time I'm on tour, and I learned that if you act like you're supposed to be somewhere, you can pass through any security there is.
Wow.
You just act like you're just supposed to be there, and you don't look back. They won't abandon their post just to come and get you, because if they abandon their post to come and get you, then 50 other people will come in.
Yeah.
And so that's what I learned, as far as like my goal is to get back into this room. So I just need to pretend like I'm supposed to be in this room. Does that count as subterfuge?
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. What does the panel think?
Yeah, I think that counts as lying and deceit.
I mean, it's hard to say in that situation. Who are you hurting by being in that room?
Well, who you're hurting is different from whether it's the truth or not, right?
That's true.
If we're being
it's like it's kind of the difference between like, is it a white lie? Is it true deceit? No one asked you.
No.
You just copped a persona as someone who, my persona, I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
But I guess here's the difference. Maybe in that moment, did you believe you're supposed to be there, or did you think, just pretend you're supposed to be there? And then now you're looking back, you're like...
Both.
Oh, really? So
I would say both of those
You
things.
got in the character, you convinced yourself of the character, you stripped away any hesitation or guilt.
Yes.
Yes.
Another instance is...
That's a good one, though.
Getting, traveling, again, touring as a musician, recording artist, and getting a guarantee that might be more money than you're actually worth. But you're just thinking of, wow, that's a lot of money. I should take that money.
Yeah.
And you convince them that that's the proper amount of money that you're supposed to be getting. And then you get subterfuge remorse when you don't earn that. You don't earn the paycheck that you've been given.
And what are ways that you would wind up not earning it?
Say you just are, you're expected to fill up a room.
Do we need to hold for the garbage moving? Do we need to pause for the garbage moving, or that garbage moving is not even deflecting?
I think we should get the security researcher.
I just heard some garbage moving.
I think I want to change my answer. I kind of think you're fake it till you make it. You're just playing the game.
Yeah, and see, I disagree with faking it till you make it.
But that's subterfuge. That's, yeah.
Yeah, faking it till you make it is another way of saying it.
Sorry, go on with what you're saying. That was it. The guarantee. What are ways that like?
Oh, right. So, and you lead the promoter on that you're going to fill up this room, and you play the show, and you don't fill up the room. Then the promoter loses money, and which creates a consequence that you didn't see coming. Now that promoter doesn't want you back because they lost money on you. They start telling other people they lost money on you, and then you're thinking of this short-term goal of acquiring this one amount of money. And if you were not faking it until you made it, and you were just being honest, and if you took half, you'd probably build the relationship, the trust, and the relationship stronger.
Because it doesn't hurt them to pay you X amount of money if they don't get a huge thing, and then they bring you back, you build your audience, all that stuff.
But these are things that I've learned through years of experience and, bridge burning and stuff. Good thing about bridge burning is.
Does it depend like how you run your scam?
Yeah,
like say you talked your way in as an opener on a big tour or something by acting like you were bigger than you were. That's better than like if you had headlined and no one showed up.
Yes, absolutely. I prefer being an opener than a headliner any day of the week.
Because it takes the pressure off?
All the pressure off. Then you can just show up, do your thing. Whether people show up or not is.
You can even have a shitty show.
You can have a shitty show. More than likely, you're going to be performing to new people instead of just the people who already like you.
Yeah.
Which you're trying to grow.
Yeah.
So being an opener is always, or being a supporting act on a tour, that's always great. I've supported some great artists.
Yeah.
And I've headlined tours too, and the headlining tours are just stressful as.
Right. Now, do you feel any different then since being sober or not being sober?
Yeah, well, I've toured a few times sober now, and I just think that I have less regrets leaving the show, because before I'd wake up the next day like, holy shit, what did I say? What did I do? There's no fucking telling. I had a real Rick James thing going on there for a while.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, fuck your couch.
Do you feel like now, if you were to be, say, the hypothetical scenario of the deceit by being, I'm supposed to be here, do you think that now you might be like, I'm not even going to go in there, or would you go up to the doorman and be like, listen, man, I know that you're probably not supposed to let me in, but I think that I've
been in there enough to know that there's not much going on in there.
Right. Also, you get in there. Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Have you ever snuck in there, gone in there like you know what you're doing, and then it led to something really amazing?
I would say that at a show, no. But I think that most opportunities happen very casually from being in the room. Like, very rarely has somebody with the opportunity dealer been like aggressively seeking out me. Like, oh, we gotta get Johnny for this. Most opportunities have come from just being in the room and the decision makers there, and they're like, who are we gonna give this to? Johnny. You want to do it?
Johnny's here.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it. You know, that's part of the desire to be in the room. So when you know that someone's important is around, you're trying to trying to muscle your way in there.
Yeah.
And then it gets kind of gross in there because a bunch of other people are there doing the same thing in that moment.
Yeah.
So you got to catch people when they're chilling, when they're relaxing. So you have to be more. Sneaking in the room doesn't do nearly as much as being invited.
Yeah. Yes.
I think you can waste a lot of time looking at things you think that you were supposed to be on.
Right.
Or, tours I'm supposed to be on, or festivals or gigs or movies I'm supposed to be in, and, shit like that. So I think that's when people who are kind of fed up with faking it till you make it, you just make it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sort of what inspired your most recent album a little bit?
I think that's kind of what's inspired my career is...
once you're done faking it till you make it is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've always kind of been doing my own thing, and my persona has been me turned up to like 10.
Yeah.
You know, or like 1,000. You know, and I I personally created a persona of like sex, drugs, rock and roll, and I felt obligated to be this thing, you know, this rock star, you know, jumping out of the plane without a parachute,
Yeah.
landing in some pussy or something.
D.B. Cooper.
Yeah, so I don't know who that is.
That's the guy who stole. He like hijacked a plane in the '70s, and
I
then,
do know who that
and then
is.
parachuted out of it, and then they never figured out who he was.
Right. Did he steal a bunch of money?
Yeah, I forget how it's done. Rob, maybe you can fact check this. I think he was like, he handed the flight attendant a note, or a stewardess at the time.
Right.
Flight attendant note says, I got a bomb in my briefcase, and I almost spilled that on you.
Ooh.
I got a bomb in my briefcase, and I want all this money. And maybe they
found some money, right?
I think they landed somewhere, and like someone brought them the money, and somehow they still took off again. And then when they were in the air, he took the money and parachuted out.
Right.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of documentaries about it.
I feel like they found a bag of money somewhere, but they didn't find him in the other bag.
Yeah,
Shit like
yeah,
that.
and there's documentaries like, he was this guy. No, he was this guy. No, he was
Right.
my uncle. No, he was my husband. I think he was alive.
See, that would be cool I want to live a life that people make documentaries about.
But it could be bad life.
Not a bad documentary, you know, not like the
Jinx.
Surviving R. Kelly or something.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
I'm excited about the Diddy documentary, though.
Yeah, why?
He's, you know, I always came from the school of you don't ask people for pictures, right? Because I came up in the old school world of.
Like, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah, kind of like celebrities, like,
Yeah.
you know. But Diddy's the one person that I asked for a picture.
Why?
I idolized him growing up when I was.
Really?
Absolutely. When I was in middle school and shit like that, I even used to leave my mouth hanging open.
Like he does?
Like he does.
Yeah.
I was like, I studied him, you know. I was like, oh, I want to be just like that. And I would walk around like.
Really?
And no one noticed. No one was ever like, hey, you're kind of like Puff Daddy. And I was like, shit. But.
Was there someone that they were like, you're like this person? You're like, I don't want to.
I don't know. I'm more like Puff Daddy, damn it. But then when I met him, it was at South by Southwest. And
What year do you mind my asking?
this must have been 2014, maybe.
Okay.
No. It was earlier than that. Maybe.
Like was he still like? I mean, I know he's always been a big deal, but like relevant. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
pop music
He was
relevant?
like he was still a big deal, and he was dating Cassie, and she was with him. She was like, it was like Cassie, this actress Lauren London, and Nicki Minaj, and they were like
they were a chain of power.
They were literally like elbow and elbow, chained together, and then Diddy. And I asked him for a picture, and I've been searching up and down everywhere for the picture.
You can't find it.
I can't find it, and I have a song that I wrote called Orgy that talks about how I leave the party before the orgy starts, and I want to post that picture and then post that song with it, and it's driving me fucking crazy.
Yeah. I guess you could Photoshop it.
I wouldn't do that. That would be a subterfuge.
Well, you could Photoshop it and make it obvious, and then like, look, remember this, but it didn't happen. I don't know.
And I could tell the story about not being able to find the real picture.
That's the more interesting story. Honestly.
I'm so glad we talked about this, Josh.
Now, I always talk about, I even talk about it, I have this joke where a lot of times you see a picture of someone with a celebrity, and the celebrity's always going like this, pointing at you, like, that means I'm humble. You know what I mean? Did he point at you?
No, he didn't do anything. He was incredibly annoyed.
Oh, he's
and I was like, see, this is why I don't ask people for pictures.
Yeah. So now,
Do people ask you for pictures?
every now and then, sometimes.
What do you do?
Take it.
I mean, do you
I mean,
point?
it happens. No, I don't point.
Do you have are you like
smile.
a silly facer or?
No, I just smile. You know, it's like if it happens, then can I get a picture? You know, I say sure, and it doesn't happen
like
enough
it?
that it would be annoying.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And but I don't do the point because the point feels a little like no guys.
No,
It's
no,
not
it's this
about.
guy.
It's all about this guy here.
Well, I do the point.
Ooh.
Timing.
We need some subterfuge. So you do the point.
Check that out.
Yeah, okay. It's all about this guy right here.
Wow.
So now, do you now feel that Puff Daddy is... Do you still think he's the coolest of cool?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Absolutely not.
He's not a good guy.
Thanks for asking me so we could clear that up.
Yeah, clear that up. People are like,
Yeah.
he's still the coolest. I still think he's great. I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing all
It's
this
a bad
stuff.
rap.
Separate this artist from this artwork.
But to be fair, I stopped thinking he was cool way before any of this stuff started coming out.
Okay.
Because it was like, once I discovered music off the beaten path of MTV and shit like that, even when I met him, it was more of a nostalgic, like, oh, that's the guy from my childhood. I got to say something to him, even though I don't like him anymore.
Yeah.
I need to get a picture for, I don't know,
Now,
my memoirs.
I liked other stuff that was hip hop related in high school, and again, I'm a Jewish white guy.
Sure. I didn't know you were Jewish.
You did know that.
I did.
You knew that.
I did.
What? You're Jewish?
I did. It was once you started talking about the guilt thing, I was like, oh.
Yeah, he's Jewish or Catholic, one of them. Jewish. We're Jewish. But what was I going to say about that? Oh, like I just always thought that Puff Daddy, it was
Sucked.
it was not good. It was always very, and who wants to know my opinion? I don't know. You tell
But
me.
I'm sure you have people that you were fans of, say, like in middle school, that you grow up and you realize that person fucking sucks. You're like, oh, that's really fucking lame.
I was also really into ska. So there you go. Oops.
Wow.
That's a deep, dark confession. That's probably the most deepest confession.
We were all in the ska.
Were you into ska?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Come on. I was a kid in the 90s.
Yeah?
You couldn't escape ska.
Yeah, I had a lot of ska CDs. Like I really got into the ska for about a year, a year and a half.
What makes it ska? Just electric guitar and horns?
I think that noise that sounded like ding, 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 ding. What else was I going to ask?
Josh was in a ska band.
Well, I was onstage dancer for our local high school.
You were a ska mascot?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a skanker.
I was the
Ska
skanker.
dancer.
I was the skanker.
Skank were the best of them.
I mean,
the skanker.
But
The mascot.
But looking back in my memory, I'd be able to like be root. It was probably early on stage, experience. I could really let it rip for about like one song, and then I have to go take a breather.
Yeah.
And then I get back on stage. I was never in great shape, and that's kind of how it is now, where it's like, if I'm gonna be really energetic, I got a battery that lasts.
Didn't you break your arms?
I broke what? I broke my wrist on stage, not during ska dancing.
You
but
broke
during
your...
plumbing.
See, listen. The legend of FADEM
Yeah.
is you broke both arms.
Okay.
Okay? You were at a show.
Okay.
Let me tell you about yourself.
Let me tell me. What'd you hear? I won't deny.
So you were at a show performing in LA doing your alt comedy.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And you couldn't stand up, you just kept falling.
Yeah.
Your whole bit was that you couldn't stay standing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You ended up breaking both of your arms.
Yeah.
And having to wear a cast like this.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
That's what you heard?
This is the story that I heard. And I was like, yeah, I know, Josh.
Yeah.
I
you
remember
come and
that.
ask me for pictures, and I can't point.
Right. You just do this.
I say
this.
you can make it seem like I'm like
Right.
the Sears photo. With
They're
like
like, should I scoop up in there? As a
Yeah,
hug,
get
or?
in between my arms.
Lean in.
Right.
Just a hug
No,
every
that's really
time.
the story I heard, because we were living in LA at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was,
Yeah, you were there in 2014.
I lived there for 16
I think I went to a
16
part of
years.
your house and had a cast on.
Really?
I think so.
Wow. See, I still believe this story.
Well, maybe.
You should run with that.
Well, it's true. I broke both arms.
Nice.
I think it's good to put sometimes, because that's not going to hurt anybody to say, I broke them both.
Right.
And I broke my ankle, and I couldn't get an erection for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because of my stand-up act.
Nice.
Commitment to my art.
Who was that lady after the 10 years?
What's that?
Who was that lady after the 10 years?
Who is what?
never
The one
mind.
that gave you the first your first boner after a decade.
I was like, she had to have been really hot. That was the bit.
His name was Dr. Weintraub, and he prescribed the best medication that I ever. No.
It was just like an involuntary boner.
It's just I woke up one day and I said,
name, by the way.
"What? I remember this thing. Take that, broken bones."
You're like, that's not how you stir cake batter.
That's not as. I don't have nothing to add on to that, but that's a good one. What else did I write down here about subterfuge? I like the smoke. I said, changing words to rhyme. That's a great question. Smoke machine. That's what handwriting. I think handwriting seems dependent on the pen. That's not an interesting topic. It's just what I thought of when I was writing here.
You forgot what you were making notes about?
I just,
Like,
yeah. Oh, I got
absolutely
one.
true, though.
I
It's
got one. This is a
absolutely
good
true.
topic. Okay. I wrote down juicy fruit. Remember it?
Yes, I just had some. It doesn't last.
I was going to say that juicy fruit, yeah, for one, it doesn't last, kind of like me as a ska dancer on stage.
Right.
Two, I think when I was a kid, it's so juicy and fruity and sugary, it's like cheating.
Too juicy?
Too juicy.
This is too juicy.
I think it's like cheating. Don't you think it's a cheat? Because like when I'm a little kid and I said, and someone's got gum, and there's gum, you've got some spearmint, peppermint, cinnamon, and these
Okay.
are some harsh, even a black licorice flavor. These are some harsh
Black
flavors.
licorice gum?
My dad loved black licorice gum.
What the fuck?
Blackjack gum.
That's insane.
Blackjack
Shout
gum.
out.
You never heard of blackjack
Do
gum?
you like the flavor of black licorice?
Well, that's my point.
Why would you want it as a gum?
I do
It
actually like the flavor of black licorice. And these seeds,
That's
I
cool.
actually do like it.
Oh.
Yeah. In fact, I love it.
Oh, wow.
You know what? And especially, I like when
Let's get another poll going.
Yeah, what do we think? Black licorice gum? Blackjack Beeman's gum?
Mm.
Beeman's. Does anyone think that's funny to say Beeman's gum? Beeman's.
I don't know what it's referencing.
It's like some 50s or 60s brand of gum. I don't know, Beeman's. Like
It's very obscure.
You know when you're a kid, you go to the drugstore with a grandpa or something and they say, "Can I get some gum?" And then they say, "Give the boys some Beeman's gum."
But it sounds accurate.
It sounds accurate to
Give
say,
the boys
"What
some
do you
Beeman's."
want? What do you want, little boy? You want,
gonna
you
love
want a
this,
peppermint?"
My
Can I get some
one
gum?
grandpa
Beeman's
died
gum.
very young in my life, and my grandma was a bootlegger and a madam.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
When I was younger, so she died when I was
What was
11.
she bootlegging?
She bootlegged
VHS
liquor.
tapes?
No, she made liquor.
Yeah, that
And
was a
she
joke.
sold drugs and she pimped hoes and shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Tulsa?
No, in Cleveland, Ohio.
Are you from Tulsa originally, born and raised?
No, I was born in Cleveland and I moved here when I was 8 years old. But my formative years are here. so-
Yeah.
Can we do a podcast about your grandmother?
I would love to.
Sounds like
And
Yeah, she
she's
was
no
a
longer
fucking-
with us?
she's a fucking
She's no
badass.
longer
Yeah.
with us?
No, she's no longer with us. So her house was when I'm telling my story of, how I became a drug addict and alcoholic, I start with my grandmother.
Yeah.
Because I was born into, they call it the ism, I was born into the lifestyle
Yeah.
of just like, sex, drugs, rock and roll. I remember she had a room in her house that she would rent out to couples so they could come in and fuck, specifically like gay couples.
Yeah. Men and men or women and women?
Both, either.
Yeah.
And I remember my sister and I like kind of look in the crack and like see what was going on there.
Wow.
And my first time ever seeing, I can say all this because she's dead and the feds can't get her. Ha ha.
Take
But
that, feds.
yeah, my first time ever seeing drugs, I didn't even know what they were. My grandma was like, "Don't go into the dumpster in the basement." I was like, perfect. So I
Say,
went,
"Okay, I will."
I was
First
like,
thing
I
I
won't.
do.
Then I went into the dumpster in the basement, and there was just bags of weed and coke and all this stuff. I didn't know what they were at the time, but I felt this rush of excitement, like this is what she didn't want me to see, and now I've seen it, and and that's kind of, I don't know, what started my life on the edge or off the beaten path, or,
Yeah.
something like that. It's kind of ingrained in me, and I always like admired her. There would be like kind of a trope in sitcoms and stuff is like this smart talking grandma who don't take no shit.
Right.
Blah, blah. And I'm like, that's like my grandma, like the PG version of my grandma. I remember when I first started growing I really wanted to grow a mustache, right? And I would always be like obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And she died when I was 11, way before I actually grew a mustache.
Yeah.
But there was a time I was like 10, and she was like trying to connect with me and talk and compliment me, and she was like, "Hey, what's that on your upper lip? Is that a mustache?" And I was like, "No, it's not a mustache, Grandma." And she was like, "Well, you need to get off your fucking high horse," and da-da-da-da. And I was just like, "Oh, what's she so mad about?" And like nobody else's grandma cusses like that.
Well,
like,
why was she mad at you? Why did she say get off your fucking high horse?
I think it's hard to connect with. I think she was trying to be vulnerable, and I've gone through this many times in my life. Like, why'd she snap on me like that?
Yeah.
And I think she was trying to create a conversation with a kid that she, me and my sister were always we were the kids. There's corner kids and then there's stoop kids, right? We never left her stoop because the world out there was crazier than we were prepared for.
Yeah.
We weren't like the other kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
My parents sent us to like private school, and then we'd go visit my grandma, and then we'd be in this whole different world. So I think there was a level of, I need to harden this kid up for the realities of the world of bootlegging and prostitution.
Yeah.
And that's just not the life that I was projected to live. But yeah, so whenever I'm telling my story of how I got into the ism or the rock star ism, it always starts with my grandma Lois. She had a jerry curl and guns and all that sort of shit. There was just guns everywhere in her house, and she would have these parties, and the parties would always start the same. And they would always start off, everybody's happy, everybody's
So
dancing.
she was probably really young, huh?
No, she was
like was she grandma age? Like
she's full grandma.
like
Not grandma acting.
No, not grandma acting at all.
What was
when you
she
get
making?
older,
What-
your concept of old and young, it kind of tweaks, Like
Right.
it's like that grandma was only 48 years old, and I thought that they were,
I'm gonna text my mom and ask what
How old
age
she
my
was when
grandma
she
died.
died?
Yeah,
What kind of booze did she make? Do you know?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Would mom know that too?
What kind of drugs did she sell?
We heard cocaine and weed.
Cocaine, weed.
Were those your drugs
She
of
also,
choice?
yes. That's insane. I never pieced that together.
Ooh.
Those were my drugs of choice. But she also ran numbers.
What's that mean?
I don't really know, but
Something
it's
about, horse
something about
races.
gambling and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like playing a lottery kind of.
I have a strong memory. I know I've mentioned it to you before that we had a connection in high school talking about movies where somehow it came up that I'd seen the movie Crush Groove, or you asked if I'd seen the movie Crush Groove.
I don't remember this.
Oh, I remember it. I think it was in the hallway.
Wow.
And you seemed like really excited that I'd seen the movie Crush Groove because either you or Wild Style. It was Wild Style.
Wild Style,
Maybe
yeah.
it was like Wild Style. You'd seen
It was
Wild Style.
definitely Wild Style,
And I was
yeah.
like, if you haven't seen Wild Style, you might like Crush Groove. If you like
Right.
Wild Style, you might like Crush Groove. So I recommended Crush Groove.
Amazing.
And then I was like, you might also like Tougher Than Leather.
That's probably the cornerstone of my respect for you. Now that we've discussed this, because in high school, that's when I got into
Like hip hop movies.
hip hop, and like I was breakdancing, and that's when I got into like hip hop culture.
Yeah.
Before I was just listening to whatever was like fed to me, MTV, the radio, mainstream stuff. And then once I got to high school, once I got to Booker T, I was like, oh, there's this whole world that doesn't get advertised, but these people are doing really well. And that's when I started breakdancing and DJing and graffiti. That's when I learned about the 4 elements of hip hop. And, I got into hip hop in a very classic, structured way. Like you're a breakdancer and these are the rules. And
But what are the 4 elements of hip hop?
breakdancing, graffiti, DJing, and MCing.
Okay. Are those still the 4 elements of hip hop?
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I only knew the movies.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get into hip hop. I
Well,
mean,
I
I didn't pursue it as a career
I don't think
or a lifestyle.
there's a very few, that's like hip hop purism.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I kind of doubt that you'll find anyone under the age of 35 that you could ask what are the 4 elements of hip hop. He'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I mean?
What do you think they'd say?
Oh, I don't even I don't even know. I don't think you'd be in a position to speak to them.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, us.
Oh, right.
They're
They'd be
hard.
like, get out of here, you old guys.
Yeah, they're hard to get to.
Right.
Yeah.
They'd be like knitting.
Their colored dreads would be
Philosophy.
in their face, and
Oh,
SoundCloud.
they'd be perked
It's making
out.
the new 4 elements.
Auto-tune.
Right.
Rewinding. Now, nostalgia.
Right.
Remembering that memory. Nostalgia. Is nostalgia a form of subterfuge? Because it takes you away from the present or the future if you get too hooked on nostalgia.
Sure. I think Tony Soprano said the lowest form of conversation is remember
That's
when.
right. Remember
You know,
when.
Remember
Yeah.
when.
Lowest form of conversation is remember
And
when.
I always like held on to that.
I know. But
But
he
I
was
think
also,
unjustly.
in the end, they were like, he's a fucking psychopath and a liar. So
Exactly. Don't
listen to what
learn
he says.
lessons from him.
Yeah. But, broken clock is right, 4 times a day.
Right. Right. Now, isn't a broken clock only right once a day?
Yeah, I was twisting it.
No, but people say twice a day.
Broken
But it's
clock.
really only once a day.
Yeah,
Because of AM, PM.
Yeah. A broken clock that is digital, because it delineates the AM, PM, is right once a day.
Maybe
now, I
that's-
think if it's a regular clock, it's probably...
That's where the saying comes from, because there were regular clocks before.
I had a Swatch watch,
Okay.
in the late 90s. It was a nice-looking watch. It wasn't all colorful and designy. It was just like a silver and white watch.
Okay.
And I bought it in like 97, and then it died on September 11th.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I just kept it saying 11.
Did it die in airplane mode?
No, that's a good one. Because they didn't have airplane mode yet on the
Is it too
watches.
soon for that joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Too soon. That's kind of a stopper when people are like, "Oh, too soon," but they
Ooh.
mean it. But sometimes people like to spoof too soon.
Right.
They go, "Oh, too soon." And
That's what that was.
Yes. But sometimes, there's all kinds
Where
of...
were you during 9/11?
I was in Pasadena, where I had a studio apartment in Pasadena.
Okay.
And I remember there was a film festival in Tulsa that I was helping put together, and I was staying up all night trying to get people to who had short films to submit and send for the film festival because it was going to be happening in Tulsa in mid-September. And then someone IM'd me and was like, a plane just hit the World Trade Center. And then I turned on the TV and watched it all happen. And it was 6 in the morning in LA,
Wow.
So that's where I was. And then I remember walking around. How about you?
I was.
You would have still been in high school.
Yeah, I was going to Tulsa Tech, which was right next to the Spartan School of Aeronautics.
Well, you graduated 2001?
I was supposed to graduate 2002, but I dropped out. Ooh. Because what the fuck did school have to do with me being a rock star, man?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I just stopped. I literally stopped applying myself.
So you didn't
in school.
graduate?
No.
So you haven't been to any of the high school reunions?
No, but I was thinking I'm just gonna go anyway.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Who's gonna remember? They're not gonna be like, hey, you didn't graduate.
Yeah.
But I don't really like a lot of people I went to school
For
with.
real? What about me?
We weren't in the same class. You wouldn't be at my high school reunion.
That's true.
Yeah, everyone that I liked,
In your class, you
I
didn't
still
like.
keep up with.
Right.
And all my friends were kind of older in high school. When I say that, it kind of makes me feel like a girl who's like, all my friends are guys. I just get along with guys better. I don't know.
Right. Well, yeah, it does sometimes feel
Like,
that
all
way.
my
It's
friends were older.
Well, I always think about this one in relation to persona and actual socializing. I try to avoid saying, and this is for me, because I know a lot of people who do it, I try to avoid saying, I'm the type of person who
Sure.
blank.
Right.
Because as I get older, I'm like, maybe I made that up. Maybe
Do you
I
still
don't know.
socialize at this time in your life?
Do I socialize?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Go out
I
to
find
a
it
party?
pretty difficult socializing.
Well, I realize it is hard. It's easy to talk to someone one-on-one, and it's easy to perform in front of an audience.
Yes.
It's hard for me to go to a place where there's a large group of people and have I get flustered. I'm like, we better wrap this up. There's more people. I should probably say hi to these.
When's the
people.
last time you went to a party?
I mean, I popped my head into a thing where there was there was a show at someone's house the other night, but I was
wow.
immediately I want to get out. It was in Oklahoma City. I
That's
was immediately
recent.
I get it. I mean, I might go to a gathering but sometimes even going to a movie screening where I'm gonna know a bunch of people. It's like, hey, I can't really get comfortable and talk I think we're having a nice conversation right now.
Yeah, I think so too. When's the last time the Peanut Gallery's been to a party?
I went to a friend's birthday party like 2 nights ago.
Wow, you guys.
Evan, you're really good at socializing.
Yeah,
You know,
I
and
so.
that's
Everybody
not
loves
an-
Evan.
Hope you don't hear that as an insult.
No,
It's
not
just
at all.
different people got different skill sets.
Yeah.
You know, some people can keep it talking, and I realize, and I'm not trying to say like, I'm the type of person who's always this way. It's just an observation. I might at some point be like, hey, I'm comfortable everywhere I go. You?
Have you guys ever been in an escape room before?
No, I've been wanting to go, but I don't think I'm a good practical problem solver like that. I could charm my way out of any room.
Why
Drop
do you
some
have-
rhymes about it.
No. Like rap my way out of it.
Yeah, you ever wrapped your way out of
Have you
something?
ever rapped your way out of a locked room? Out of a
I know
trap?
what'll solve this.
Is there a grave diggers? You know this grave diggers?
What'd you say?
Grave diggers.
Oh, the rap.
Doesn't he say you couldn't wrap your way out of a wet paper bag?
I'm sure it might be an,
He might be-
official saying.
I think he says you couldn't punch your way out of a wet paper bag.
Right.
But wrapping your way out of anything sounds.
Did you just go to an escape room?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Why do you ask?
I don't know. It was kind of on my mind, I think, from earlier when you were talking about getting typecast as like the hacker guy. You know, when you're in an escape room, you kind of
Funny,
find out who your
I just
smart
wanted to
friends.
you think
clarify.
you'd be good at it?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
find out who your dumb friends are and who
I'm
your
not
smart
good.
friends are.
But I'm not.
You find out who your dumb friends are?
Yeah, in the escape room, because there'll be like one person you think they're the smart friend, but they're like, and then someone you're like, I thought you were kind of dumb, and then they're figuring out everything.
But I feel like, I don't know what it is. I've never been to an escape room, but I feel like I would just be like, well, this is just I don't care. So,
Yeah, I'll wait for someone to figure it out.
yeah, I'll just stand around. Let's hang out, guys. So,
Like,
It's
I'm not
actually
really
super
trapped in
intense. Like you get into it and you're like, yes, the next pandemic is going to start in this room if I don't solve this problem.
Wow.
And
they
it's-
find a way to get you in that headspace?
Yeah, for sure.
So you've done it.
Oh yeah, the kids love it.
Okay, so it's a kid's thing.
I mean, my kids thing for sure. I mean, I think a lot of adults participate, but I mean,
Yeah.
Max is straight up.
Max,
This
yeah.
kid-
There's
yeah.
always.
But
there's
he's
always,
11
like,
years old.
Roles that people fall into, and you kind of just have to go with the flow. Like if somebody's got a plan,
Sure.
you got to take a back seat and like facilitate their plan.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna
You know
get-
what?
Or you're gonna get in the way. You know.
Now that I think about it, in group activities, I mean, the last ones I did as an adult was in rehab, but I was one of the leaders of, okay, I have a loud voice I project, people listen to me, everybody let's, even appointing the person who would best get us out of this situation. Like we would do things like, we'd have there'd be like 30 of us, and we'd all have these like half tubes, and then like a little ball. And then like we got to get the ball, we have to, send the ball down these tubes without dropping it on the ground. So who was standing here has to go 3 people down to keep the ball up and then get it into this cup. Did I explain that right?
I'm following.
This is a therapy exercise.
Yeah, this was the type of stuff we did in rehab and shit.
Now,
It's like to help work with others or some shit like
Like
that.
to make you collaborate.
Yeah, to like,
To see that your actions have consequences.
and also like it's not all about us. Like
Right.
you
Very
got to
good.
learn to
Yeah.
work with people and shit like that.
like
And actually, what I discovered during that.
that it is all about you.
No. What I discovered during that exercise is sometimes the best leader knows when to follow, because people would listen to me, but I didn't have the best strategy, But this other person had a really great strategy. So when I said, "All right, everybody, listen to this guy,"
Yeah.
then we got the ball in the hole. But probably my proudest moment.
So wait, it sounds like you're saying it's sort of about recognizing this person's got a strong skill set
Yes.
and drawing everyone's attention to that guy.
Yeah, but my skill set is people will follow what I'm saying.
Yes.
You can kind of pull the
I know,
best out
actually,
of what people have to
I've
offer.
been following what you're saying. You start telling a story, and I'm like,
Right.
Whereas sometimes I've noticed people start going off on a canned story that they've already told, and I'm just like, God, I'm bored already. I better interrupt.
Right. Yeah, that's my girlfriend. She's heard all of my stories before. But I think that's probably the same as the escape room energy. It's like, okay, we got a problem to solve. What are you good at? What are you good at? Blah, blah, blah. And like, maybe if part of the escape room is brute strength, then you know that guy. And then it's like, okay, you punch the wall after she solves the math problem, or Is that what escape rooms are like?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Playing to people's strengths, setting
Yeah.
people down the right path.
I don't like games. though.
I know. Actually, you came to one of my parties. I tried to get you to participate in the game. And
For real?
Yeah.
And we're doing a game, and I was like, I don't like games.
You're like, no, I don't. No.
I was like,
And I was like, what? You seem like you'd like games. You're like, I don't like games.
I don't like
I'll
games.
watch you play.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, good memory. You remember that?
I do.
But you don't remember the wild style conversation.
No. Well, the wild style conversation was probably 30 years ago.
Probably more.
The party was,
30.
I don't know,
30.
2-3 years
25
ago.
at least.
Yeah, 25.
Now, did you ever see Crush Groove?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see Tougher Than Leather?
No.
That was directed by Rick Rubin, and it was starred Run DMC.
No.
As guys who were tough.
I met Rick Rubin, though.
Yeah? How was
Yeah.
that?
Kind of like meeting Jesus.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he dresses like him?
Yeah, because he dresses like him, probably smells like
Smells very
what
holistic.
Jesus probably smells like.
Jewish?
Jewish and kind of like
Jewish, but kinda
lasagna.
Buddhist.
Garlic,
Like Jewish lasagna.
Yeah.
garlic and body odor.
A Buddhist Jewish meditating lasagna guy.
Right.
That sounds like Jesus.
Right.
That kind of seemed like
Who's might as well be black.
That kind of seemed like
He
an
is.
underrated moment there, where you were recalling a conversation from 25 years ago, where you recommending him a movie. 25 years later, have you watched it yet?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So did you ever see that movie?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Based on your recommendation.
Did
I watched it last week.
Did it have any profound influence on you?
Did I change your life?
Did I steer you in the right direction?
You did it, Josh. You did it.
That's all I need to know.
Movie recommendations, the substance.
I was the movie guy,
Right.
I'm still a movie guy.
What's the last good movie you saw? New movie.
I liked Conclave.
Okay.
I saw it new, but I want to see a lot of these other new ones. I'm ready to see Gladiator 2.
Okay.
New movie. I don't watch too many new movies, but it seems like there's ones I'm kind of curious about. Some new ones coming out. I hear that Honora is supposed to be good.
Oh, I've seen previews for that.
Yeah?
Or I think I've seen artwork for that, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that looks...
Yeah, won
I like
Palme
that
d'Or.
artwork.
Won the Palme d'Or.
Okay.
Um,
The Substance with Demi Moore. Great.
I saw it. I thought it was okay.
What?
I thought it was okay.
Oh,
Did you see it with a crowd or did you see it by
I
yourself?
saw it by myself.
See, I saw it with a small crowd, and I was sort of feeling like, I get it. I just felt like the metaphor was very, but it
You
hit
must
a-
not like tits or ass.
Well, there's the thing. I started feeling like there's a lot of tits and ass in it that I should be liking, but at some point I was like, I'm really getting kind of, and I think that all my criticisms, I feel like there's someone waiting to go, that's the point. I'm getting kind of sick of these tits and ass.
There was so much tits and ass that you got sick of it, which is kind of what happened.
But
to
also
Prince.
the needles going into everything and the thrusting and the pumping and all that.
It was gross.
Well, I knew it was gross, and I like a big finale. I like a big gross.
Well, don't spoil.
Oh, well-
no spoilers.
Okay, there's no spoilers. It's got a finale type thing to it. The finale was, I don't know. By that point, I just was over it. But then I thought about it afterwards, and I thought, I bet you if I'd seen this with a packed house, it would be a different experience. But then you loved it anyway.
Yeah, you know what's funny is the first time I saw Anchorman, I saw it by myself, and I totally didn't get it. Didn't think it was funny at all. Then I saw Anchorman.
Disappointed, like you had high expectations?
No, I didn't even know what. I just watched it, and I was like, yes.
I thought I was watching the news.
Right. But then I saw it with a group of friends, and thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Uh-huh.
I think that the crowd does determine. It has a very high influence on whether you enjoy something or not.
We've made
You
a
know?
great case for going to the movies
Yeah.
with the crowd.
Shit, when's the last time you went to the fucking movies? Noir night? Tonight.
Noir night tonight, but this isn't live, so
Oh.
some other time.
But it might be
there's-
Mondays.
From where we are sitting and performing. Are we performing right now? Or are we just chatting? Has the persona
question.
slipped at some point in this
I
conversation?
think a good persona weaves in and out of.
Right. You can use the truth of your life, or you can sometimes use it as subterfuge. Now, how are we on time? What are we doing? Oh, I guess we should wrap up. What? Any facts to check? Any fact checks?
So kind of tracking back to when we were talking about subterfuge, looked up categorical imperative, rule of conduct that is unconditional or absolute for all agents. So, yeah, basically, is it right or is it wrong? There is, to some philosophers, there is a right and a wrong.
Uh-huh. Now, subterfuge is always wrong or not always wrong? Sometimes necessary.
That's kind of where we're
trying to find out the details are here. These are the details. They've come.
I think that's in the yielder of the sword.
Right. He who wields or yields? The wielder of the sword or the yielder of the sword?
Good question.
I think the wielder of the sword is probably the one who
created the sword?
Who's doing the subterfuge, and maybe the yielder of the sword is the one who's like, whoa, okay.
Whoa. Right.
I wield to your yield.
Right.
All right, so I don't know if you guys are already digging through, the local crime news before the podcast, but the D.B. Cooper case that you referred to was actually closed in 2016, but I looked up and we have, as of 2 hours ago, Popular Mechanics has found the secret parachute in the FBI's possession and may have finally solved the D.B. Cooper identity case.
2 hours?
2 hours ago?
2 hours ago.
So this is breaking news, what you're saying.
Breaking news.
Popular Mechanics.
Popular Mechanics broke the story.
Fucking here comes the
And,
details.
I want this story. Yeah, I want the story about the mechanic, the writer for Popular Mechanics, who's like, I've got this lead, and his editor's like, all right, but get it to me by Tuesday, get it to me by what's today, Monday or Tuesday? Monday. Someone's like, all right, but get it to me by Monday morning.
I don't know. It seems like a hot lead.
Yeah.
Hot lead from a cold case.
I watched a couple of documentaries about the D.B. Cooper. One of them I fell asleep during. And I feel like it's still up in the air. But they got to keep making these documentaries to make money.
Apparently not.
2 hours.
2 hours. 2 hours.
Maybe
We're at
2.5 hours now, but
we've been going for 2.5 hours?
Did they find any of the money?
now that I did not know. We'll have to dig a little bit deeper, and I can get back on a future podcast.
Let's just say yes, I was right.
We've been recording for 2.5 hours?
No. I'm just saying,
The
when I
story
looked it
is
up
2.5 hours.
originally.
You're confusing things.
Oh, I'm getting all mixed up.
Yeah.
Conflate.
Well, do we have, Johnny, do you have anything else to add about Subterfuge or anything in general or anything to plug?
Anything to plug? Yes, listen to my music.
Yes,
And
what's the name of your latest album?
My latest album is called The Program.
The Program.
And it was created as I was working a 12-step recovery of a 12-step program recovering from drug and alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
There's 12 songs based on the 12 steps that I was going through. It's called The Program. Also, I'm flirting around with acting.
Okay. Yep. That's
We're
true.
in a show together.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Should be shooting in Tulsa this year.
Next year.
Next year, I mean, I don't know.
Or this year, whenever this comes out.
In 2025.
In 2025, February. So that's cool. I really like acting. That's, on set, I'm standing there, and someone runs up and brings me a chair.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm just like, wow, this is how people become assholes. I like this.
Yeah, I could get used to this whole system that's devised to turn me into an asshole.
Like, holy hell. And then I got paid a week later, which is so much faster than music. So I'm an actor now.
Yes. So we are here with actor, musician, performer, artist, Johnny Polygon.
Yes, Ism Survivor.
Survivor. Check out his new album, The Program, and anything else from anyone else? Anything else we need to add?
LeBron or Jordan?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all about this guy. You got? Did we get that in the camera? It's all about this guy.
I hope we got it.
Jack?
All right, everybody,
Evan?
stay humble.
Rob?
Point to the person you take the picture with. Keep yourself humble. Here come the details. Johnny Polygon. Johnny Polygon, it's all about this guy. My name's Josh FADEM, and thanks for listening and watching.
Hit us with the smoke.
Hit us with the smoke. Yeah, we should smoke it one more time.
Let's smoke it. Let's smoke out.
Oh, let's all get toked and blaze here. Toke and blaze.
No, toss it to me.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Over there.
Throw it over here, man.
Toke it, smoke it.
Hey, toke it and throw it, bro.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Here Come the Details with Josh FADEM. This is your producer, Rob Stewart. I have a few extra special thank yous to those folks who made this episode possible. Ethan Cooper, Ian Upton, Jeremy Lamberton, Marcia Newmeyer, Rob Patterson, Rodney Asher, and today's theme music was done by Brian Gerges and Dean Menta. I'm going to leave you guys with a little excerpt from Johnny Polygon's 11th studio album, The Program.
Let the blood run dry. what happens when the doves cry. Some don't fly. Who am I, if not the guy that I projected I was? Who's lived the life and had the sex that I does? Party everywhere except for the club. I did it, man. The Wild Old Touch song, I lived it, man. I ain't landed rock bottom, had to dig it, man.